4 worlds, 1 war, and a seat on the divine throne just waiting for whoever can crawl through the mud long enough to reach it. This isn't prophecy, it's politics with lightning bolts. So what exactly is Atre Dominance Wars, and why did it completely blindside me when I booted it up? Welcome back to LT Gaming, my name is Tom, and today we're looking at Atre Dominance Wars. An upcoming real-time 4X that mixes high fantasy warfare with godlike powers. It's from Ironward, the studio behind Red Solstice, but this time they swapped grim marines for divine empires and colossal magical showdowns. If you do enjoy discovering these kind of ambitious indie projects with a bit of grounded commentary and the occasional eyebrow raise, do consider subscribing. It helps the channel find more people who actually like thinking in their strategy. Now, I'll admit, I went into this game thinking it was a turn-based 4X. The screenshots, the world map, it gave me King's Bounty vibes straight away. But once I got into the alpha, I realised it was something different. Atre runs in real time, yet it borrows that layered overworld approach you'd see in Dune Spice Wars for example, and then blended with the sweeping scale and fantasy vibes of an old game like Heroes of Annihilated Empires, if anyone remembers that one. You build cities, deploy armies, claim territory, and then dive straight into battles. No waiting around for your turn, just fluid, evolving warfare. You play as an elder, fighting across these 4 intertwined worlds, to ascend to godhood. Each choice will shift the balance of power. You'll be wielding spells, commanding armies, forging divine artifacts to outmaneuver your rivals. It's a really smart mix of genres that, on paper, might not work, but somehow it really does. The devs have just launched their Kickstarter, so if this game looks right up your alley, consider taking a look at it. It's a bold project and Ironward clearly want to prove that this kind of deep hybrid strategy game still has a place in today's scene. Alright, let's dig into how Atre Dominance Wars plays, because there is a lot going on under the hood, and for a strategy nerd like me, that is very good. Just keep the caveat in mind that this is the alpha build. First up, you're on a very big map. You're not just managing cities or pushing pawns, the world is living. The 4 worlds, Wood, Hal, Errol and Men, are all being torn apart by an ancient cataclysm called the Merge. The idea is your elder must activate thrones to anchor domains and protect them from this merge. Add in that you build your empire, amass devoted followers, research unit mutations, upgrade armies and craft artifacts via magical gems. Which means your planning essentially is twofold. Firstly, establishing a strong infrastructure, and then shaping the very world that you're playing in. Moving closer in, you have heroes or avatars leading armies. They gain experience, equip artifacts, and become these juggernauts. Then there is truly god tier stuff, because as an elder, you research spells and you can ascend to godhood. And once you're there, you can open a gate between worlds, alter the land and perhaps destroy it. So there is this prevailing god game element in the 4X real-time mix. And there is already a large amount of interplay in the game. So for example, the world generation depends on the magical attributes you pick for your character, and events also change based on your attributes. I haven't fully fleshed this out or explored it yet, but I really like it. What it means is every playthrough should feel different. You're going to have more choice, more tactical choices, more meta choices, and that is a very good thing when it comes to strategy gaming. So I jumped into this alpha with the hope of something interesting. What struck me was how this layering actually works and how much potential it has. It's not just expansion or pure warfare, it's about something a little bit more. So my first session involved scrabbling to anchor my domain, then rushing to mutate an army, and then I used some spells and it felt very satisfying. Where does it need to prove itself? Firstly, how smoothly these layers integrate from macro to micro to divine, and secondly, the pacing. Real-time 4X can run away with you unless the tempo is just right, and then of course you have to make sure that this god power stuff doesn't overshadow the strategic core. Visually, I gotta say I'm already impressed with Atre Dominance Wars. It's leaning into this mythic fantasy and almost sci-fi strangeness vibe. Crumbling worlds stitched together by divine energy, and it's not just another pretty map. Landscapes do feel unstable, alive, and somewhat worth fighting for. The alpha build was surprisingly polished. There's a sense of scale to the battles, units swarm across the valleys, and these spells really tear through the terrain. It reminded me a bit of Spellforce. Now the interface is still clearly early days, but it is functional, no nonsense, no clutter, and the sound effects and music did feel moody and layered. So presentation wise, Iron Ward are off to a strong start. It does need a lot more polish, but it could stand toe to toe with some of the genre's heavyweights. So Iron Ward are the studio behind the Red Solstice, so they've got a pedigree in atmospheric tactical strategy. But now they're reaching for something much larger with Atre Dominance Wars. Part 4X, part God game, all ambition. And the planned release is now for 2026. On the Kickstarter, which is launching today, they're looking to lock in funds to hit their stretch goals, including more content, polish, possibly co-op multiplayer features. Me and Luke would love this. And they've made it clear they want to deliver a game that doesn't feel rushed. As a channel who work with a bunch of small indie studios, we're quite familiar with the over-promise and under-deliver model, so we appreciate this tone of modest ambition that they've taken. They know what they're getting into, they're asking you for their support to jump to the next level. So if you're backing this, you're buying into this vision. Now this doesn't mean everything is secured, of course Kickstarters come with risks, funding goals, delivery timelines, feature creep, but if Iron Ward can hit the milestones, the payoff could be significant, especially for the fans of hybrid strategy that truly blends scale, tactical combat and a little bit of divine power in there. So Luke and I were in full agreement here. After some time in the alpha, Atre Dominance Wars left us both with a rare feeling, genuine curiosity. It's ambitious, it is rough around the edges, it's trying something that we don't see often anymore. Iron Ward aren't chasing trends, they're building a layered strategy world that asks you to think. The key question now is whether they can keep it all balanced, the pacing, the divine powers, the world events. And that is the tightrope every ambitious RTS or 4X has to walk. But if they can pull it off, it could be easily one of those cult classics that fans talk about years down the line. So if Atre Dominance Wars has caught your eye, go check out the Kickstarter page or wishlist it on Steam, and I'll be keeping a close eye on it as development continues, and hopefully bringing you a deeper dive once we see more of these systems in action. And hey, if you've enjoyed this preview, give the video a like, it helps us immensely on YouTube. Drop your thoughts below, what do you think about this game, what do you think of my take on it? And tell me, are you going to back it? Or just sit back and wait to see if the gods deliver? Either way, we'll be watching this one very closely. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.